The Recharge Health FlexBeam red light therapy device is quite a unique product. In fact, it's very unique. It's meant to be very powerful, it's meant to be easy to use, and it's meant to be a better product than a panel. Is that really the case? Well, I'm going to find out. I'm also going to compare it to some of the most popular red light therapy products, both big and small, on the market. So let's get into this review. So a company called Recharge Health make the FlexBeam. Now, Recharge Health are based in Norway, and all the design work of this device are done in-house. The devices are then assembled by a German-owned factory in Thailand, and the result of all of this is a device that, is very unique. It's not your typical red light therapy panel or mask that we see carbon copies of all the time. Now, it was designed to be a high-powered, compact, portable, and targeted red light therapy device, and a device that the company believes is superior to a red light therapy panel. I'm going to share my thoughts on this later in the video, so hang around for that. Now, there are 4 modules that make up the FlexBeam. 3 of them are light modules. Each light module has 2 near-infrared LEDs and 1 red light LED. You can see the red one in the center there. And then the 4th module is the Power Pack Control Center. On the back, there are some really nice, easy to use buttons. Now, all of these modules are connected with a flexible band, hence the name FlexBeam. And that allows you to treat all sorts of areas on the body by directly applying the LEDs, the lights, to the skin. You see, this is meant to be used with direct contact. Unlike a panel where you typically stand 6 or 12 inches from the device, this should be used right up against the skin. Now, there are a couple of reasons why this is so. Firstly, there is less light wastage from reflection when you're treating at a distance. Instead, it is being absorbed directly into the body, which is what you want. Secondly, it allows for more precise dosing protocols. And this is where the FlexBeam is actually quite attractive. It has 3 built-in modes. The first is the skin and surface treatment mode, which is more red light. The second one is for muscle and tissue, which is red and near infrared. And then the third mode is for deep tissue and joints, which is a high concentration of near infrared light. Each session runs for 10 minutes, so it's rather straightforward, simple to use. You turn it on, you select your mode. You then position it wherever you want to treat, and away you go for 10 minutes. Now, the cool thing is the included manual does have some specific treatment protocols in there for different needs. And when you purchase a FlexBeam, you get access to the Recharge Health membership. In that membership program, you can see even more protocols. So if you have a particular problem, you can see where you should use this, what treatment protocol, how long for, etc. But back to the manual. I should mention the packaging and manuals included in the box are very, very impressive. They are very informative, easy to read, easy to use. Everything about the FlexBeam is just simple, straightforward, but at the same time, it's a premium, well-researched, well-designed product. Now, in the manual, you'll see a program such as Energy Boost. This is where you're running it on preset number 2. You do 10 minutes with it across your stomach laying one way, and then 10 minutes with it laying across your stomach another way. There's all sorts of programs like that. There's a sleep enhancing mode, there's joint recovery modes, all sorts of different protocols, and they're all mapped out either in the manual or in the membership program. Speaking of this membership program, now when you buy the FlexBeam, you get enrolled in the free program. That includes access to basic placement guidelines, webinar recordings, podcasts, and a community forum. Or you can pay about $50 a year for the professional membership plan. You get all the basic treatment protocols, but then also some more advanced protocols. This includes cold and flu support, wounds, insect bites, dental applications, and a lot more. Plus, you get access to the live webinars and the ability to interact directly with the medical team, the founders team behind the FlexBeam. So, does the FlexBeam work? Well, we know red light therapy works. There are 6,000 odd studies showing it is beneficial. I've done videos looking at the science behind it. So we know light at the right wavelength and the right intensity can help with reducing inflammation, improving recovery times, reducing pain, helping with skin health, beauty, all of those good things. So how does the FlexBeam actually perform? I'm going to fire up the spectrometer and we're going to have a look. All right, so on screen, you can see the wavelengths of the FlexBeam when in preset number 2. Now in the manual, the claimed wavelengths for the FlexBeam are 630 nanometer red light and a range of 810 through to 850 nanometer near infrared light. So down here on screen, we see that, yeah, there's a peak at about 635, 636, so that's pretty good. And then in the near infrared range, so we're seeing this main peak at about 807, 808. So there must be the 810. But yeah, there's very little 850. It's way out here, 850. So really, you're only getting a decent amount of energy until about 820. So I'd say it's more of a range from 780 through to 820, peaking at 810. 810 is a great wavelength, especially when it comes to joint health and muscle recovery, but it is surprising that the manual said 810 through to 850 because I'm not getting any 850 in here. Now, when it comes to power intensity or irradiance, it's actually very difficult for me to get a reading, and that is because this is actually using pulsed light. Now, I can't figure out the exact pulse rate, and the manual itself is saying it's using a pulse rate between 0 and 100% duty cycle. So I'm assuming it varies. I'm not 100% sure. But whenever there is pulsed light in a device, it is very, very hard for me to get one single irradiance figure. I tried measuring at the source of the light, and I had everything from 3 milliwatts up to 300 or 400. But a lot of numbers were coming in around 20s and 30s. But again, don't quote me on that. The device really struggles to get a solid reading. Now, in that same manual, the listed irradiance figures are 60 milliwatts for the red and 120 for the near infrared. Now, I know anyone that's watched my videos in the past will know that listed numbers can be well off. How did they measure them? Did they use a solar meter? Did they even measure them at all? So I can't really comment on this given the pulse rate, and I have no way to disable the pulse rate. However, this is a well-designed, well-put-together product. There are fans on the back of each LED. This is not just some simple low-powered LED device. If there is an LED that is emitting a lot of energy, a lot of light, it requires, there's a lot of heat buildup, so it requires cooling, heat sinks, or even better, a fan. So that's exactly what is the case here. So I would say that there is going to be a decent amount of light energy coming from these devices. The other manual here, the bigger one, actually has the FlexBeam putting out 100 milliwatts over centimeter squared. I have no idea what distance that's at or how it's been tested. And it's even got the joules over centimeter squared dose, which is 60, which is reasonably high. Again, I wish I could share more on that, but we're just going to have to take their word here. But I would say it is a decent figure. It's not going to be Chroma Iron Forge sort of numbers. I mean, that thing literally gets hot within a few minutes. That wasn't the case with this. But I don't think it's going to be lacking like a flimsy, body pad that you get from Alibaba for 20 bucks. Speaking of the fans, this thing does put out a bit of noise. It was about 59 decibels, 6 inches from the device, so it's not super silent. It's higher than a lot of red light therapy panels. I mean, it's a fan noise. It's not an irritating, grating noise that some panels do emit. But so just keep that in mind if you plan on using this in a quiet space. It is going to be obvious that something is running. Okay, so Recharge Health have just sent me their technical parameters for the FlexBeam. This is their measurement data, and it's what they're using for their dosing parameters. So what I can tell you is that there are 3 different programs, as we know. The first program has a lot of red light running with a little bit of near infrared. The second program is a much more balanced approach. And the third program has a lot of near infrared with only a little bit of red light. Now, as for their power irradiance figures, they actually did a test over a period of time and then averaged it out. This is to account for the pulsing feature. And I can tell you that their figures have the red light coming up around 50 to 60 milliwatts and the near infrared at about 110. So remember, this is data that they've provided, but I thought I'd share it with you because, yeah, their numbers are quite high, quite respectable. Remember, this will be at the source, not at 6 inches. Hey, if you are enjoying this video, can I ask a favor? Can you hit the like button and also the subscribe button if you want to see more videos on red light therapy or red light therapy products. And I should also mention I am affiliated with FlexBeam, so if you use the discount link or discount code down below, you're going to save, but I also get a commission. Now, the FlexBeam retails for $549 US. However, I have been given a discount code and link. It is all down below. If you use that, you're going to save, at the moment, you save about $100. I don't know if it's always going to be this good of a saving. It might only be 10%, but either way, it's going to bring the price down under $500 US. Now, FlexBeam ship worldwide. They also have a 5-year warranty and a 60-day returns period. However, I want to talk a bit more about this warranty. So yeah, it's great, a 5-year warranty. I mean, that's better than a lot of red light therapy panels for a battery-powered portable device with open vents. And, 5 years is amazing. I was quite surprised by that, and I told the co-founder that as well. Speaking of the co-founder, I interviewed one of the co-founders of FlexBeam recently. It was a really good interview. I'll put a link to that down below. Check it out later if you want to. But yeah, let's go back to this warranty. So 5 years. However, in the manual, now I need to talk about these manuals because they are really good. They're very informative. But in the manual, it mentions in there that the product life of the FlexBeam is about 2.5 years. This is because of the battery. It states that the battery should get about 600 charging cycles, which means about 9,000 applications. Now, Recharge Health is saying after a couple of years, the battery may need swapping and you'll have to contact the company. However, 9,000 applications is quite a lot. I mean, if you're doing 3 10-minute applications a day with this device, it's like 1,000 applications a year. So in theory, that would be 9 years of use. So it was a little bit interesting, I suppose. Hey, the fact that the warranty is 5 years, I mean, if the battery starts giving out early, you can reach out to them and see what they say. Okay, so what do I like about the Recharge Health FlexBeam? Well, firstly, I need to mention how good the unboxing experience was. The packaging was very nice. There's lots of little letters and guides, and everything's just nice. Like, it's well put together. Not just the product itself, but the whole box and the bundle. I wish more red light therapy panels were like this. There are some, but yeah, it was a good experience. And you're buying from a company that cares, and they are creating a premium high-value product. Secondly, the manuals are very informative, not just on how to use the product and how it works, but it goes into the science behind red light therapy, the history, mechanisms of action, how it works for different issues, whether it's immune function or recovery or joint health, whatever. It's got a lot of information in there. Now, this is really, really good if you're new to red light therapy or you're buying this for someone who is new to the world of red light therapy. Because remember, at the end of the day, we're buying a device that's emitting red light and invisible light, and you're hoping it's going to do amazing things, right? So it's good to have a document there that you can physically pick up and you can read as you're using it, and it helps you understand the why, especially if you have spent $500 on a product. Yeah, I think this is really good stuff. Also, you have the really good supporting website and that membership program, which I explained earlier. Next, I like that this has been designed from the ground up in-house. This is not just a marketing company that have found the next big thing on the internet and come up with a clone copy design with their sticker on it and pushing it out. Everything from the boxing to the product to the straps, everything has been well designed, well thought out. And it shows, and I like that. I like how it comes included with 3 different strap options. You have a body band, an arm band, and then these really small bands, which you can use to put on your arm or wherever it may be. That is neat because, yeah, this device can be used in assortment of areas, but if you're just sort of draping it on your shoulder or trying to get it on your back, because of its size, it's not going to compress up against the body. You're going to need those straps. The other good thing with those straps is you can put it on and walk around the kitchen or use it while you're warming up or cooling down at the gym. And the Velcro is very sticky as well, so it's going to hold. Next, I need to talk about how easy it is to use. You literally turn it on, you select the mode, and you hit start. That's it. It runs for 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, it turns off. There's no complex features or trying to figure out what time to run or trying to figure out how long to run it for or anything like that. It's very, very simple. I mean, you could just turn it on to preset mode number 2, hit start, and away you go. Treat the problematic area. I like the 5-year warranty. I like that it's HSA and FSA eligible. I like the additional pro membership option. I like that it's battery powered and you don't have to be tethered to the wall. Speaking of battery power, it takes about 2 hours to fully charge it, and one charge should get you about 6 to 8 sessions. And then finally, I like the flexible design. I mean, it's not a rigid, solid device like a panel. You can contour it to your body or wherever you need to treat, which is nice. Oh, and I also like that it's using good wavelengths. 630 is a solid wavelength, as well as the 810. And I am going to give FlexBeam the benefit of the doubt here and say that it is putting out a good amount of energy. However, there's a few things I don't like. All right, first up, you're only getting 6 LEDs. This whole device only has 6 LEDs. Remember, each module has 2 near-infrared LEDs and 1 red LED. It's not a lot of LEDs for the size or the price. And the other thing on this topic is how large it is and how much dead space there is. Because remember, it's designed to be used directly on the body, okay? So if I have this on, I don't know, let's say my back or my stomach, you're only getting light here, here, and here, 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 and here, 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 and there, right? 6 points. There's all of this dead space. Now, when you're looking at red light, you're only getting 3 LEDs through the center. At least if this was used at a distance, and you could use it at a distance, the light is going to spread out slightly and you're going to get a reasonably nice blend of light. But when you're pushing this right up on the surface, you're really getting these big concentrated spots. Boom, here, here, and here. And then in between, there's nothing. Now, we know red light therapy has full body systemic benefits. So you could just treat the blood on your wrist, for instance, and you're going to get benefits throughout the body. But remember, this is marketed as a targeted device for treating, say, a sore shoulder or your stomach. So, I don't know, it is a little bit of a bummer that, I don't know, maybe the modules could be compressed closer together, or the LEDs could be, there could be more LEDs in it. I'm not too sure, but just something to keep in mind. Now, the other thing I need to mention is the price point. Look, given the quality of build and the packaging and the resources and the support and the simplicity of use and all that good stuff, one could argue, and the discount, by the way, like if you're using that discount link, it brings it down quite a bit at the moment, at least. One could argue that it is really good value. And to be honest, I kind of want to say that. However, when you look at different products that are out there, and I'll be doing this soon, so hang around for that, you could say, well, I could spend $400 or $500 on a really powerful tabletop panel, and sure, it's not battery powered, but I'm going to get 90 or 120 high-powered LEDs, and I can treat my whole face or my back or my stomach in a large zone. I can push it up against the body as well and get a targeted treatment, and it may be the same price, even cheaper. Again, they're not direct comparisons. They're very different products. A panel, you have to be standing in front of it or sitting on it or whatever it may be. With the FlexBeam, you can literally travel with it in the gym, and there's all those good things. But then you could say, well, let's compare it to, say, a Mito Red Light Mito Mobile Flex, which is battery powered, which has 12 LEDs, similar wavelengths, ton of power in it. It's portable. And those LEDs are in a cluster, and again, you can spot treat, you can target areas, and it's half the price of this. So it's an interesting one. What do you guys think on this? Is it overpriced? Is it good value? I'm keen to hear your thoughts. Another thing that is not great is the fact that I didn't detect any 850 nanometer light from this device. I don't know what's going on here. Now, is this just a bad device? Was something changed? Is my meter playing up? I don't think so. But it's always a little bit off-putting when you see that the marketed wavelength is not actually in the product, because then you start thinking, well, did they test this? Do they have quality control? Are their irradiance figures correct? And then that leads me into the next point. I don't know what the irradiance figures are. If they are what they say they are, then yeah, this is a good device. It's going to do good things. You're going to get plenty of energy into the joint as well as on the surface. I think it is legit. I think we're all good on that front. I know a lot of people have been using this and rave about it, and I can see myself using it, especially as a travel device. So that's what I want to get into now. Who should buy this? Who's it for? I, again, like this as a travel device. It's small enough and it's battery powered, and it's going to hold its charge that I could take it away for a weekend and hit those problematic areas. I also think it's a really good first red light therapy device. For someone who has heard about red light therapy but doesn't want to spend $1,000 or $2,000 on a panel, the FlexBeam is a great entry product. Here's why. You're getting something that's going to work. You're getting something that's very easy to use. There's no complex options or pulsing rates or anything like that. You just simply press play, press start. And thirdly, it comes well packaged with very informative guides. They're well designed. This is not like a book that comes with it and you need a PhD in engineering to understand. It's just easy, well written, easy to understand, scientifically supported information. So I could see a lot of people buying this as a first time, or buying it for their parents, for instance, something like that. And then later on they decide, you know what, I want a panel, or I want a larger device, or I want that mask, or I want that torch, whatever it may be. But is it the perfect all-in-one? This is the only red light therapy device you ever need. Again, hey, if it's the only device I had, sure, I'd use it and it would tick a lot of boxes. The downside is its size. I personally like larger products, panels, for instance, because I can treat my whole body. If I'm doing a leg workout, I can treat my legs, front, back, side in a few minutes, whereas treating my legs with this is going to take quite a bit of time. Afterwards, I can treat my joints, and panels, larger devices definitely have a benefit here. But of course, the FlexBeam has a lot of pros that I talked about earlier. So what I always do in these videos is compare the product with competitors' products. What are some products we should also consider? First one is the LumaFlex. Now this is a flexible pad. It's actually waterproof as well. Because of its flexible nature, you can use it around joints. The fact that it's waterproof means you can take it to the gym, you can take it to the swimming pool, you can take it to the beach. There's a lot of upsides there. I don't really recommend using it in the water, but it's nice to know that if you get some water on it, it's going to be fine. That's not the case with this, where you've got open vents and electronics right in there. The LumaFlex is quite expensive though, and you're not going to get the same power output that you would with the FlexBeam. Another device is the Chroma Ironforge. Now, this device isn't battery powered. It's handheld, but it's packing, I think, 150 LEDs, and it's very, very powerful. In fact, it's the most powerful device that I've ever used. Now, I actually like the Ironforge Chroma despite many of its flaws. Check out my review to learn more about it, because it is great if you do have that sore shoulder, or you do want to target one area and just get a heap of light in there. Again, it's not perfect. You got to plug it into the wall. It's bulky. It's very heavy, puts out a ton of sound and heat. Oh, and it's also very, very expensive, but it is a high-powered targeted device. So if you're considering the FlexBeam for that sore shoulder, you may want to consider the Ironforge, even though it's going to cost you a bit more. Again, though, it is more of an advanced device. It's even comparing it to the FlexBeam is a little bit unfair in a way, because they're so different. But hey, check out the review. You'll understand what I'm trying to say. Now, the third device is the Kineon Move Plus Pro. Now, this device is probably FlexBeam's biggest competitor on paper. When you look at these products, you see the Kineon product is using 808 nanometer light in laser, and I think it's a 630 or 660 nanometer LED. Red LED. Now they come in modules similar to this, however they're a lot smaller. You can also package them up and put them on wraps and straps, and that was actually designed originally for the knee, but you can use it all around the body. They are coming out with other products as well. Similar sort of specs, similar sort of functionality. Which one's better? I guess it's going to depend. And you know what? If you'd like me to do a direct head-to-head on these two products, let me know, and I'll work on that. But in the meantime, if you're seriously considering the FlexBeam, I would highly suggest that you check out my Kineon reviews. I've also interviewed their founders, and just maybe jump in our Facebook group as well and just do some research in there, because there's a lot of crossover between the two of them. I personally like the Kineon for how portable it is, because you can pop out the modules and you can treat that cold sore or that, I don't know, sore on your wrist, but then at the same time, they are quite small, whereas the FlexBeam is a larger product. So it may depend on your situation as to which one's best. The final alternative product is what I mentioned earlier, the Mito Red Light Mito Mobile Flex, or another handheld mini panel. These are battery-powered panels. These, I love these. My wife loves them. We always have one lying around and we travel with them. They're just a really nice size to hold. They're putting out a decent amount of radiance, simple to use, and you're getting them for a great price. So check out my reviews on all of them. Also check out my review on the travel products, because this would have slotted in well in that video. I didn't have it at the time. One final thing to remind you about though is, again, this is very, very easy to use and comes with some great documentation. It also comes with that membership. You're buying into that community. You're buying all of that research and all of that knowledge in terms of how this has been built and how to use it. It does tick a lot of boxes, okay? I think if you're someone who really values the ecosystem that comes with a product, then yeah, the FlexBeam is going to be for you. The cool thing is the wavelengths are solid. The irradiance, I think, is solid. The design is great. The operation, the ease of use, all of that is great. It is a good quality product, and I think a lot of people are going to be exceptionally happy with it and get amazing results. Hey, so check this out if you enjoyed this video here, because we've got a lot of videos, and If you like this one, you're gonna love that one. All right, see you over there.